Biker Billy cooks with fire.
All right, welcome to the show. Glad you tuned in, spun that little dial, pushed those little buttons, and you ended up right where you belong. Yes, here we are. And you know what we're gonna do, as we always do? We're gonna cook with fire. But today I got some special little recipes. I like to party, all bikers like to party, and I bet you like to party too. When you want to have friends over for a party, what do you gotta have? Biker party treats, all right. Sit back, relax, stay tuned. When we come back, we'll cook with fire. All right, now here we are. You and me, we're together, and we're gonna prepare for a biker party. Yes, sir. So we gotta have hot, delicious things for our buddies to eat. Otherwise, we're gonna up in making parties. Now, first thing we want to do is we want to make some nuts. You know, you invite nuts to the party. Well, you got to have some nice, sweet, delicious, hot, spicy, crunchy nuts for your friends to eat. So let's take ourselves 2 tablespoons of butter. And you cannot substitute margarine in this particular case because margarine will burn the nuts and you don't want your nut burned. No, sirree, Bob. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use some crushed red pepper. This is the kind of pepper that you are most accustomed to sprinkling on your pizzas. We're going to use 1 tablespoon. No, all right, we'll only use a teaspoon. If you use a tablespoon, the stuff will be so wild, so hot, so spicy, your friends just won't eat them. Now, you've had honey roasted nuts, you've probably had hot nuts, but you've never had hot honey roasted nuts. That's right. I love to mix the hot and sweet together. So what we want to do is very gently, over a mellow heat, not a high heat, because you don't want to burn this, you're going to melt that 2 tablespoons of margarine with that teaspoon of crushed red peppers, and you're going to get that all nice and melted, and again, not too high of a heat. Now, I'm going to use 2 different types of nuts, and I'm preparing what's going to amount to 1 cup of this mix. You can multiply this up and make as much as you want. Just be very careful when you start multiplying. Kind of ease back on the hot pepper because it more than multiplies. It goes up exponentially, which for you scientific freaks or non-scientific means it goes up faster than you do. Now, what we're going to do, we got this sizzling up here. We are going to add 1/2 cup of peanuts. Nice dry roasted peanuts. And we're going to add 1/2 cup of nice dry roasted cashews, and we're going to recycle these bowls. Now, what we want to do is grab a fork, and you got to keep this temperature nice and low, and you want to stir these around, get this nice and coated, and you got to be very careful. You're going to see that this will start to kind of bubble and foam. Do not, I repeat, do not let this burn. Now, what are honey roasted nuts without honey? So you're going to need to get yourself some honey. That's right, call your little lady or your boyfriend or whoever into the kitchen and say, "Yo, honey!" Hop in the pan. Now, you want to simmer this for about a minute. Then you're going to want to take and you're going to want to use some honey. I've showed you different types of tricks with pouring these thick ingredients. I got this nice spray grease. You go out, you lube the chain on the bike, you come back in, and you spray that tablespoon. Now, once this begins to start to foam, you're going to take 3 tablespoons of honey. That's right, 3 tablespoons. Now, let's take a look here. You can see this is just barely, maybe you can't see it, just beginning to simmer and foam. You stir it up. Can you smell that aroma, Mike Freeze?
Of course I can. It's scrumptious.
Oh, it's outrageous. Boy, I'll tell you. Now, look at it. It's starting to foam up. Now, all you got to do, now, listen to the sound of this, is you take 1. Ooh. 2. And 3. Nice, full tablespoons of honey. Now, you can buy honey roasted nuts in the store. You can buy hot nuts. But there ain't nothing that you can get that's nutty, that is as tasty and delicious as this. Now, what you want to do is you want to turn your oven on, and you want to get your oven to 350 degrees. Get it nice and warm. You want to get yourself a little... Oh, where is it? Aha! To the magic oven. I got me a little baking pan. I'm going to hide that from you because that's bright and shiny. Now, once this starts to boil and bubble, just look at that, boiling and bubbling. As soon as it's boiling and bubbling, what you want to do is transfer it into this pan. You'll notice maybe that some of these nuts have darkened a little bit. Spread them out into a nice single layer, and you want to be very careful that you take and scrape all of that delicious flavor out. Scrape it out, cover it up. It's nice, it's fantastic. And take this, and you're going to put this in your oven, 350 degrees, and you're going to watch it very carefully. And let me tell you something, this is hot. So I'm going to put this in my oven. You want to check it every couple of minutes. You do not want it to end up blackened or burned. Now, we're going to make a wonderful dish, something that no biker party would be perfect without, and that is my delicious, hot, fresh salsa recipe. So what we're going to do today for our salsa is we're going to use boy, I had to taste that fork. 2 long, slim red cayenne peppers. Nice, fresh peppers. This, by the way, is the same type of pepper in that crushed red pepper if it says cayenne. But if it says just crushed red pepper, it's probably a mix of different types of peppers. The little cayenne pepper you get, the powder in the supermarket, is this same very pepper. We're going to take 2 of them. Whoa, baby! Drop that down there, and I see my cameraman, one of them there. John is going out there, and John, chuck that home. All right, look at that. I bet you didn't even realize the cameramen had hands. You thought probably over here in television land we used robots. No, sirree, Bob. We got no robots here. Can you expect a robot to go chasing after the things the biker loses? No way. So, what we got to do is we got to take 2 medium onions. And we're going to trim them. We're going to peel them. But we're not going to slice and dice them. I'm going to take these 2 onions. I'm going to throw them in the food processor. And I'm going to chop them up real good. Now, since my sound man, Mr. Mike Freeze, don't like me to try to talk over the sound of that food processor, what I'm going to let you do is I'm going to let you take a break. Yes, I'm going to stay here cooking up a good party for you, and you're going to sit back and relax. You're going to enjoy it, and when we come back, we're going to cook with fire. All right.